Hi, everyone, and welcome back for another episode of Round Robin, where we spin the wheel, chase the chaos, and see where the conversation lands. I'm your host, Tracy Preston, along with Christine Mulligan, Nina Mulligan, and of course, my husband, Todd Preston. Hey, everyone.
Hello. Howdy.
Hi, everybody.
All right, so tonight's topic is one that I think is going to get a lot of opinions going. We're talking about pioneering failures. Not just things that didn't work, but moments where people tried to push boundaries, tried to innovate, explore, or change something, and it went very, very wrong. The real question tonight is, were these people bold pioneers or were they reckless? So Christine, when you hear pioneering failure, what comes to mind first?
My everyday life, yo. I stay trying to change things. I think change is ultimately always good, but you have a lot of failures on the way to success. So, I don't know, pioneering failure just sounds like trying something to me.
Right? Now, do you respect their attempt to do it or focus on the outcome?
I don't know, if I use my own experience, I regret it every damn time I do it. Ultimately, I will figure it out to get to where I want to get to or do what I want to do. So, yeah, of course you got to respect the effort. You got to respect the hustle, yo.
That's right. Now, Todd, do you think failure is just a part of progress, or do you think failures cross a line?
I think it's part of progress, because that's what everybody keeps telling me. But I don't know. I always feel like when I fail, I've crossed the line.
Aw. Well, what about you, Nina? Would you personally take a risk knowing something might go horribly wrong?
No, that's not in my DNA. Nope. I read directions twice, 3 times, 4 times a lady. I don't take chances. But I do think that failure and things failing inevitably forces change or creates it, one or the other. You cannot have change without failure. I mean, you have to have the failure first in order to create the change. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a reason for the change.
That's right. Now, one of the things we watched, which is going to be in one of my recommendations, is deep sea failures, right? So we're going to start in the ocean because this one is pretty recent and honestly still hard to wrap my head around. So there was a private company called OceanGate, and they created a submersible called the Titan Submersible. Do you guys remember this? The implosion?
I do, actually. Yeah, I do.
Mm-hmm. Right now, their goal was to take paying passengers down nearly 2.5 miles underwater to see the Titanic wreck. Now, it wasn't government funded, and this wasn't a NASA level oversight. This was innovation, ambition, and risk. And in 2023, during a descent, the sub lost contact, and days later, debris was found, and it had imploded under pressure, instantly killing everyone on board. And here's where it gets complicated. There had been warnings, lots of them, concerns about the design and questions about safety standards. So Todd, is this innovation pushing boundaries or ignoring red flags?
Well, this particular incident, I think, was ignoring red flags because I think the motives were wrong, and that's why it was bound to fail. The guy was driven by greed and fame. And I think if he had just been patient and went through the channels and did everything that he was supposed to do, success takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. And this guy was just pushing it and pushing it and pushing it.
And what was it that he had? What was it? Carbon fiber it was made out of? Is that right?
Yeah. So the coating of this vessel was carbon fiber. And as soon as they brought that up on the documentary, I mean, you saw me. I mean, I was immediately triggered by it because I've worked with carbon fiber as a machinist, and I know it's extremely hard, but it's also extremely fragile. And when there is a failure in carbon fiber, for example, porosity or cracks, failure is catastrophic.
Right, and they're dealing with human beings down there. So it's just crazy, because when they're going under and doing all these tests, like you just hear it ting, 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 ting. I'm like, no, I would not get in that sub. Would you guys? You know, I mean, it's like when the Wright brothers came up with the first airplane, right? Everybody thought they were crazy. So I can see where an innovator or someone who wants to push the boundaries, because that was this guy's thing. Like, and Nina said it before too, like underwater in our oceans, maybe that is our outer space. There's things down there to be discovered. But it's how bad you push it when there's warnings all around you is where it gets nuts. And then there's, if we go back even further in time, we have the Hindenburg disaster, which was a massive airship seen as the future of air travel. Looked luxurious, efficient, and revolutionary, until it caught fire while landing in 1937. And I always remember, isn't that what's on the cover of one of Led Zeppelin's albums?
Yeah, the Hindenburg, yeah.
Yeah, and the world.
I just always remember all the humanity, you know, when all that was happening. And I think it was, you know, an onlooker or something, you know, had said that.
Oh.
Because imagine, you know, especially in that day and age, to see that kind of tragedy happen and unfold right before your eyes when everybody's expecting this great thing to happen, and then it suddenly turns to shit.
Right. And like you said, the whole world watched that happen. And just like that, an entire type of travel disappeared. Yeah, because it's full of gas.
Yeah.
Not good. Do you think that the people back then even understood what kind of risk they were taking? I mean, it was full of helium. I don't think so.
And when I think of helium, I think about funny voices. Yeah, and that's about what we got out of helium: balloons and funny voices.
Right. So, I mean, I think we all agree failure is required for progress, right? I mean, the Wright brothers didn't succeed at first, and they kept doing it again, and now look at us. So, I mean, I can see it.
Yeah, but they were only trying to kill themselves. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, they were throwing themselves over the cliffs and things trying to fly. It wasn't like they were hooking up 3 of their friends to their backside. Like, yo, try this out with me. You know? I think the whole submarine thing, and I mean, that guy was just dumb, and anybody who was with him was dumb. So, natural selection? I don't know. I feel like if you're going to do something like that, you probably should listen to experts. And if I remember correctly, he didn't have many of those on staff, and nor was he an expert in anything other than, I think, being wealthy. So to get into something like homemade and try to do 20,000 leagues under the sea with people building it that don't know what they're doing, I mean, I guess I have trouble feeling sorry for them, because, I mean, they assumed that risk that was part of their decision making. So I think they ultimately are the ones that are responsible for that. But, I mean, the guy himself was leading them to it.
Well, come on. I mean, you still have to have empathy for the poor suckers. But I agree with Ty, actually. I think it was all done for the wrong reasons. It was done out of greed and haste for financials. It wasn't done in any altruistic capacity. And like you all said, there were no real specialists on board. I mean, from the materials that they were using to the depths that they were trying to get to. It was all crazy cockamamie. Just because you had money to fund it didn't mean that it should have been happening.
I mean, obviously they had nobody there that knew anything about, like, science, because anybody that knew anything about science would have told them, you're going to get halfway down and it's going to crush on you. This isn't stable enough. And I think they did, didn't they?
Yeah.
Didn't a few people say, no, that you can't do that? So,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. At that point, if I have to take responsibility for all the actions in my life, and I can't blame anybody ultimately for where I am, because in some respects, as an individual, I take 50% ownership in any situation that I'm in. Even if I didn't put myself in that situation, I somehow did because I'm there, right? So no, I don't have, I feel bad. I think it's sad. I think it's sad that they left all those people that love them behind to do something so stupid, but I don't think I necessarily feel bad for them. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, they did.
Maybe that makes me a psychopath. I don't know, but I'm sorry, but you made a dumb decision and you got dumb consequences from it. What is there to feel sorry about? I feel sorry for the people that you left behind. That's who I feel sorry for.
Well,
it makes me angry when people do stupid shit like that, because to me that tells me that you didn't give a fuck about anybody else in your life and you just went off to do dangerous shit for the hell of it. And you want me to feel sorry that you're dead now? No, sorry, don't. I do feel sorry for those people you left behind.
Well, I think, they did have very well qualified and highly respected engineers and stuff like that. And every time they raised the concern, like this guy is like, well, somebody's got to go and it's not me. So you're out. He just kept firing people left and right. He got rid of everybody who warned him.
Yeah, so the people that were there, that were left behind, still made a conscious choice to follow this idiot into the sea.
Yeah.
I mean, Darwin would have called that natural selection, but that makes me a psychopath. Okay. I'll be a psychopath then. I'm okay with that.
Well, it's the people, the customers, the paying customers that went on it, they weren't told the truth. They weren't told that it wasn't safe. So I don't know if I can really blame the people who went and paid. I mean, there was even a famous, wasn't a Titanic specialist or something like that, Todd, that was even on that?
Yeah, I think he was like the world's foremost expert on Titanic history.
Right. Yeah, it just blew my mind. It just blew my mind, and it just got me thinking about all the things that, we've done, like going to space. I mean, that's putting your life in your hands, but the exploration, the what ifs, the possibilities. I mean, I could see it if I didn't have any ties, if I didn't have kids and stuff like that. Yep, I would go out of space, but I would not go in that fiberglass sub. No. That was crazy. And then they were even putting like 24-year-old interns in high positions because they fired all these people. They knew it was coming. It was just a matter of time.
Yeah. Well, they had a lot of people jumping ship because they were like, this is not going to end well. It's not going to end well.
Yeah.
Well, there are some things that were invented or, made because the cart came before the horse. For example, the toaster was invented before sliced bread became a thing. And it literally is what made sliced bread available at supermarkets.
Well, give me a little more history on the toaster. Why would you make a toaster without something to put in it?
What I'm saying is that when you went to the grocery store, there was no such thing as sliced bread.
Oh, they were loaves.
Like at home.
Mm-hmm.
So when the toaster became available, that then led to the bread company pre-slicing your bread to fit perfectly into that toaster.
Yeah, because I think that, somebody can look it up, I guess, but I think the toaster, it was the whole heating coil thing. And the heating coil, they weren't sure how to apply that science, but the scientists wanted to get credit for it. So he made something where you can warm up foods. And then that's when they realized that bread was the most... Yeah, it made the most sense. It made the most sense to use with the heating coil. So they literally invented the technology for it, i.e. the toaster oven, and then they marketed something for them to sell to us to enable us to use that new technology. It was back in the day where everybody was searching for the next light bulb invention,
Right.
Yeah, probably every Tom, Dick, and Harry was pilling around in his garage being an inventor. Yeah. But again, without failure, nothing would have ever gotten invented, because I'm sure nobody invented anything right straight out the gate.
Right. I mean, it takes failure to hit your goal.
I think what's weird is if you look at the history of humanity and you see in those specific time periods a certain expansion of a technology, definitely alien-induced.
Of
I
course.
think that's where all of our major progress from humans has spawned from. Is intermittent, like, coming downs of people introducing new technologies and techniques.
I think that hints to the fact that you are just a pessimist, my love, because you don't think anybody's smart enough to do anything. You gotta invent aliens.
I didn't invent aliens. Aliens invented us.
I'm saying you have to interject them into some kind of...
No, but everything has to learn. Everything has to learn. Animals learn. People learn.
Yeah.
And it's taken us a long time to get to where we are. We seem to still keep fucking it up. We
Agreed.
continue to make the same mistakes over and over again. It's weird.
Yes, we're not learning from history like we're supposed to.
Yeah.
Let's see, we move on to our Woman of the Week. So tonight we're honoring a woman who doesn't just step into history, she launched into it. Valentina Tereshkova was born in 1937 in a small village in the Soviet Union. She wasn't raised in privilege or power. Her father was a tractor driver who died in World War II, and her mother worked in a textile factory. So Valentina followed the same path. She worked in a factory by day, and by night, she trained as an amateur parachutist. That detail, something she did out of passion, would change everything. Because in the early 1960s, the Soviet space program was looking for something bold, the first woman in space. They didn't choose from elite scientists, they chose from everyday women with the physical and mental toughness to survive something completely unknown. Valentina was selected from over 400 applicants, and then came 1963. At just 26 years old, she boarded Vostok 6, a spacecraft by today's standards was incredibly primitive. There was no co-pilot, no manual landing control, and limited communication. That's frightening. She orbited the Earth 48 times over nearly 3 days. Let that sink in. While the world watched from below, she was alone, suspended in space, representing not just her country, but every woman who had ever been told not yet. But here's what makes her story even more powerful. After her mission, it took 19 more years before another woman would go to space. She didn't just break a barrier, she showed how far ahead of its time that moment really was. And to her, and to every woman whose story deserves to be told, remembered, and respected, we see you, we honor you, and we will not let your story fade. That's frightening, to be solo out in space by yourself, like in a super primitive spaceship. No way. That takes courage.
Agreed.
I agreed.
Yep.
That wouldn't be me. I'm not up for going up in rockets.
I would never go by myself.
I'm a product of elementary school discovery days. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right, so why don't we move into our round robin recommendations? And just a reminder of what our scale is. 1 spin, only if you're bored. 2 spins, background noise. 3 spins, solid watch. 4, highly recommend. And 5, drop everything and spin immediately. Do you guys want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go. We'll go first. All right, so we're going to recommend The Miniature Wife. It is on Peacock. It's a series. They're very short episodes, so they're easy to watch. But I'm going to say solid 3, possibly 3.45. But with a little caveat for people that are interested in psychology and certain veins of that, I'm going to say it's a 4, because I really found it interesting to watch the nuances and the psychological profiles of the characters. But I'm not going to get that deep into that for this. So, The Miniature Wife is like a dramedy. It's about a couple struggling with the imbalance of power in their marriage. The husband's a scientist. The husband's played by Matthew McFadden. The wife is played by Elizabeth Banks. And she is a novelist with writer's block for 20 years or so. So feeling figuratively small and unheard, then she accidentally becomes 6 inches tall. It's kind of like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, that premise, but spun on its tail to make it about a wife being shrunk by the scientist husband, and the dramedy that entails because of that happening. You know, and of course, much like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, they spend a lot of time talking about how they're going to remedy it. The scientist didn't get that far, only got as far as shrinking crap, didn't get as far as expanding it again. So it's funny, of course, Elizabeth Banks. So if you know anything about Elizabeth Banks and all of the things that she's ever done, you know, it's much in the vein of that, you know, realistic, but still really funny and kind of off the cuff, kind of makes it feel very relatable in a way, as she does. I think it's great. I haven't finished the season yet, but I love it.
It kind of makes me, the thing I'm thinking of is The Incredible Shrinking Woman with Lily Tomlin. Did you ever see that?
Yeah.
Yes. It is along those lines as well.
Gotcha. I love that movie. I should go back and watch that again. I loved it when she ended up in the kitchen sink.
Yeah, no, it's very cute. There's a lot of cute scenes. I mean, she technically has a whole house, but I don't want to ruin any of that.
Gotcha. All right, well, Todd and I watched a few things, but I am going to stick with my recommendation for Titan, the OceanGate disaster on Netflix. It tells the story of the 2023 submersible implosion that killed 5 men, including OceanGate's CEO Stockton Rush, who was piloting the vessel. The documentary really focuses on the ambition behind the project and the warning signs that may have been ignored. They were ignored. It's fascinating, but also incredibly unsettling because it makes you question how far innovation should go. To me, it makes you start questioning about that, yes, we should push the envelope, but you got to do it with safety. So it just makes you think, you just see that the recklessness in it. I see where he's coming from and where passion lies, but not when it's putting your life and everybody. If you want to risk your life, that's fine, but not when you're including other people. That I didn't like, but I just thought it was a really good eye-opener. So, well, that's it. It's just a short show for this week. So thank you, everyone. As always, we appreciate you listening. Please like, share, and subscribe, and leave us a comment on those platforms that you can, like Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So thank you, everyone, and we will see you all back on Friday for our final cryptid submission winner. So have a great week, everyone.
Yeah. Bye. Ciao.
Adios.
Adios, amigos.